They defend well, but they can sure attack as well.
Yeah, this is a very good team. Strong in goal, good back four. Both the outside backs will attack, get forward into the attacking third, balanced in the midfield. And we talk about some athleticism and some speed up front. This is a good UCF starting 11.
And on the Memphis side, certainly a very balanced team as well. They don't get here without being balanced.
Yeah, and they have had a great week. So will they be tired, or will they feed off the momentum they have coming into this championship game? Again, strong in the back, very good in goal, balanced midfield, and athleticism and speed up top.
Shep, we will see the best two goalies in the league, and the goalie for Memphis is the second-team all-conference player, Elise Kuhar-Pitter. She is outstanding, and in fact, goals against average #1 in the league.
Yeah, there's no question. She has great ability in goal. It takes her entire team in front of her, the 10 in front, to track back, defend. But if it comes down to shot on goal, more often than not, she'll be there.
And on the UCF side, Aline Reyes, the Brazilian, she's outstanding. 6 shutouts this year, first-team all-conference player.
Yeah, I think this is a young player who has a future at the national team level for Brazil. So right now, getting the job done for UCF.
1 and #9 in the country. Just a beautiful day for soccer. 70 degrees. Humidity a little bit up. As we get it underway, UCF in the white. Memphis, as they've been during this entire tournament, in the blue. Midfield play, so very important. Who gets those 50-50 balls, right?
I think there are a number of important factors. Here's a good ball played out wide.
And racing forward is Simonin, and she was able to get one on goal. And Simonin is an attacker on the other side. When they look at Barra, she's the one that gets open on the other side.
I think you make a good point about a midfield, and I think for both teams, Bruce, the first thing you want to do in this game is don't make any mistakes. Get your feet, get your legs, get your body into the game, get settled. You don't want to give anything away the first 5-10 minutes of the game, so critical that you play hard and play safe.
For Memphis, Eisenhower had a couple of goals in one of the earlier matches and had 2 goals in the win over SMU. Simonin getting it in, and now here's Memphis on the attack. Look at those numbers, 40 and 16 on the goals by period.
Crazy, and those statistics are great, but Amanda Cromwell and her adversary on the other side, looks, Monahan, they know, throw that out the window. Let's go defend the first 20 minutes. Let's not make a mistake, and let's find a way to get the first goal. First goal is always important, never more important than in a championship game.
Well, it was certainly important in that game on the 27th of September when Memphis won that game 1-0. They got the early goal from Strinadova, and they made it hold up for the win, and a big win early on in the season for Brooks Monaghan's team. UCF trying to build an attack. Memphis very good on defense. You saw Jazviak attacking, and that's one of the backers that really comes up and supports for Coach Cromwell.
And that's a two-edged sword. When you have outside backs that overlap and attack, do they vacate, leave a void in the back, and can Memphis counter down that space?
The counter by Strinadova, and here's Ashley Barra tracking it down in the corner. Scooped up by Reyes. Reyes, athletic performer, reads the ball very well, very aggressive goalie. Again, you're going to find young Vendela Strinadova all over the field. Outstanding player in the midfield for Memphis. There's Jazviak, young lady from Berlin. Emily Maynard for the Knights. And that'll be a throw-in for Memphis. Liz Hildebrandt throwing it in, and she had the big goal in the semifinal matchup for Memphis. Yeah, look at what the Knights have been able to do since that loss to Memphis. 10-game winning streak, and they've outscored the opposition incredibly well. The athletic defender, Nikki Moore. You don't get around here very often.
And Nikki Moore, very good as an outside or right back. She loves to get forward into the attack. And once again, as we pointed it out, scouting reports are, if you're playing against UCF, when their outside backs attack, win the ball, transition, take advantage of that vacated space.
And here's UCF with an attack. Back there, however, for the defense, Brittany Hance, a good, solid defender for the Memphis Tigers. Nikki Moore, best in the league, 1v1, according to her coach, Amanda Cromwell. Very fast, physical player.
It's always such a dangerous weapon when you have defenders, outside backs that get into the attack. Everybody else is marked up, and then the outside backs overlap. All of a sudden, you're in trouble.
Well, and Nikki Moore always goes against the best offensive player of the other team. So maybe one of those matchups we watch for is Moore against Berra, huh?
Definitely, and it's a chess game. If you're Ashley Berra, really, you want to take her away from a position she's comfortable in. If you're Ashley Berra, get the ball at your feet, run at the defense.
About 6 minutes in, Shep, any sense for this so far? Who's had any advantage?
Yeah, I really don't want to say I'm surprised, but I came into this game saying, wow, if you're Memphis, how in the world do you play at such a high level in your third game in 5 days? I think that's a great disadvantage. And having said that, I think they look very settled in the game.
Well, in that first game, they had their highest goal output of the year, beating SMU in that opening round game. The good thing about that is Brooks Monaghan could rest some players when they got the big early lead against the host Ponies.
Yeah, so my impulse coming into the game, my expectation is UCF has the physical advantage if they play at a high pace. But right now, early stages of the game, I think Memphis dealing with it very well.
Again, Jazviak with an attack. Berra was tracking her down, and it'll be a throw for Memphis. Krista Turner, one of the defenders for Brooks Monaghan's team. And now UCF trying to control in the midfield with Becca Thomas. Ball ahead to Radovcic. Look at what UCF has done, dominating the net, Chip.
Yeah, that's great. And you know what? You look at a statistic like that, you're going to win games. I mean, that is credit to Amanda Cromwell and her entire team. Come back from a loss and totally turn things around over a period of time.
Yeah, that 10-match winning streak on the line here for UCF. Great wins by the Knights throughout the year, especially in the non-league schedule, with a win earlier this year against then number 4 Florida State. Memphis has had some darn good wins as well, including one over LSU. Trying to control things, Tori Dalton, center of the field, and that'll be a throw-in for UCF. No score here in the early going, a little bit of a feeling out process, but these two teams are very familiar with each other. Sideline struggle there will result in a throw-in now for Memphis.
Well, again, Bruce, it's early. My impulse was to think UCF is the favorite. I really like the way Memphis has opened up this game. They have UCF reacting rather than acting. So you still have to find a way to get a goal, but right now, good start, in particular by Memphis.
Jazviak out of Berlin, Germany, very physical player, and again, up and down with support from the back end for UCF. This is Ignacio, who had a goal against SMU on Wednesday. Strinidova. Ahead on the left, Simonin. Nice move, but even better defense. Memphis did have the longer road as they get to the tournament with a couple of victories in this Conference USA Championship. But you take a look at their resume and a record against top 25 teams, 2-0. And some of the players, of course, we've talked about. Berra and Kuhar Bitters is an outstanding goalie.
Well, for me, it's all about what do you do in big games against big opposition, and they've gotten the job done and have rolled to get to this championship game. And now can they reach their objective and get another championship?
Here's Josviak attacking again, but stopped by Turner. And back comes Memphis. There's Kuhar Pitters, who has 10 shutouts this year for the Memphis Tigers, and actually got an assist in the game against SMU. That tells you how aggressive she is, huh?
Well, Kuhar Pitters has the unique advantage of having as a goalkeeper coach a former U.S. national. Here's a good play in the box.
Yeah, coming is Strinadova, and Strinadova unable to get it done, but good attacking play by the Memphis Tigers.
I like the way Memphis has started there, stringing some passes together in the midfield, and then this through ball momentarily splits the defense. An acute angle, can't get it on frame, but nice little build-up by Memphis. Back to Kuhar Pitters. She is fortunate. They lucked out. They got Johnny Walker. There's the goalkeeper coach joining Brooks Monahan. And Johnny Walker, a storied U.S. international goalkeeper, played professionally in Chile, played back in Major League Soccer, played for the U.S. national team, retired from the game and moved back home to Memphis, and so the beneficiary, the Memphis college program.
Looking at UCF's tournament resume, it is glittering. Look at that record. And of course, a very difficult, in fact, #2 non-conference schedule in the nation, the #2 most difficult.
And that's by design. And again, credit to Amanda Cromwell. She knows to be the best, you have to play against that kind of competition.
Huge wins against Duke and Florida State for UCF as they continue to gather steam, and now #9 in the nation. RPI is high this year as #4. It has fluctuated between 5 and 8 the last couple of weeks. There you see the #5 ranking right now for head coach Amanda Cromwell's team. Boy, she's done an outstanding job with this UCF program, which has incredible history. UCF making the championship of the first ever finals back in 1982 and losing to North Carolina. This was before Amanda was the head coach, but they do have tradition at UCF. The Knights have been very good for a long time in women's soccer. Again, the 50-50 ball is so important, and right there, UCF wins it with Thomas. And that one over the net, and a goal kick.
Emily Maynard usually plays out wide right as a midfielder, but she cuts it back, creates a little bit of space to her right, body leaning back, and that's why the ball is over the crossbar. And she will take most of the corner kicks for UCF.
UCF lost only once this year in conference play, and that was to Memphis, the 1-0 score in late September. And there's Maynard at right mid most of the time, covers a lot of ground. You can see that she does like to dribble it and create a little space for herself.
Yeah, for me, the player that needs more of the ball at this juncture in the game for UCF is Becca Thomas, the player we talked about. Monahan right now has to, I think, be pleased with the way the game has started.
The 8th all-time meeting between Memphis and UCF. Memphis with the earlier win this year, leading the all-time series 4-3. And again, the athleticism of Nikki Moore for UCF. Whidden trying to put a little bit of pressure on. And here's Ignacio. Strinadova obviously very comfortable with her back to the goal. And here's Tori Dalton. Throw in for Memphis.
Memphis plays an atypical back four, and I mean that in the best sense. They really have Brittany Hance drop behind as a sweeper. So it's almost old school sweeper and then 3 in front. And I like the way they're playing, very organized. So if you're UCF, you're not playing against a flat back line. You have to really find a different way to get behind their back line because they're playing with a sweeper.
Here comes Josviak again from that defensive position, but attacking. But the counter now by Memphis and Dalton. A little bit too far, and UCF will have a throw. In the early going, not a whole lot to choose from in this championship matchup of Conference USA. Best chance on goal, Emily Maynard, just a couple of minutes ago for UCF. And here comes Courtney Whidden. Whidden, the first-team all-conference player, is knocked off the ball by Brittany Hance.
Yeah, and that's a play that's orchestrated by the player we were talking about, Becca Thomas. Becca Thomas with the perfect angular ball. That's why UCF ends up with the ball.
Whidden with 12 game-winning goals in her career. She has 3 this year. And then Becca Thomas, she's kind of taken over as the game-winning artist with 5 this year for UCF. 5 of her 6 goals have gone in the net as a game winner. Memphis trying to get it out, but here's Maynard. Maynard just outside the 18. Is turned down by Dalton. And that will be a corner kick. Correction, that'll be a goal kick. Next Sunday, it's the men's turn on the CBS College Sports Network. Turn in at 2 Eastern for the men's Conference USA Championship game. Tulsa has won it 2 straight years. Who will raise the 2009 trophy? Find out next Sunday at 2 on the CBS College Sports Network. As we look at the men's bracket, Tulsa is the #1 seed. They've won it a couple of straight years. They won the regular season championship. UAB, the 3 seed, a very, very good Final Four on the men's side. Tom McIntosh's team looking to win it again for Tulsa, and they will host. There's Para serving one in, but knocked out of there by the UCF defense. Getting toward that midway point here of the first half of play. Not a lot of great scoring chances, and neither goalie at this point has been stressed hardly at all.
Yeah, that's a good point, because if you're on either side of the bench as a coach in this championship game, you want to first create quality goal scoring opportunities. Neither team has really done that.
Both teams very good on set pieces, as you might expect for good programs.
Yeah, and they're going to get their defenders up to attack the ball. Kelsey Backer taking a position right in front of the goalkeeper, trying to shield her.
Ashley Barra serving it into the box. Ooh, a chance on the far side for Hallman. And now back comes UCF, and they will counter. And here comes Alex Brandt, who just checked in a little while ago, a freshman from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, ahead to Newsom, but controlled now by Strinadova. The #1 seed, UCF. The #3 seed, Memphis, for the championship of Conference USA. Barra getting it to Baldwin, but then that's too far. I don't think it's a stretch to say Conference USA could get 3 teams this year in the NCAA tournament. These 2 teams have a great chance. Brooks Monaghan's team came in right around 50 on the RPI. They performed very well in this tournament, though. That should help, no doubt about it, and they're deserving of an at-large bid if they don't win this game.
I don't think there's any question. Conference USA has grown in strength, grown in power, grown in the number of teams that compete at the highest level.
Now, the other team that really deserves
a national team player, Amanda Cromwell, now also called in as an assistant coach for the current U.S. national team. And you talked about the storied history. I think the greatest UCF. I would make the argument the greatest soccer player ever produced, Michelle Akers, who's a volunteer coach with Amanda Cromwell now, once named FIFA top 100 player in the world. Only 2 women, Michelle Akers and Mia Hamm, rightfully so. And then the history, players like Amy Allman, Kelly Koshevar, and Karen Richter, a goalkeeper, and Jim Rudy.
Mary Barris.
Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
Amanda Cromwell has built on the success that they've had, and rightfully so.
Well, the first ever NCAA championship game was between UCF and North Carolina. North Carolina won it 2-0, but UCF got themselves to the finals. of that first one. And you know, we were talking about Colorado College. They have an incredible history of women's college soccer. You know, you talk about Colorado College, an associate member in Conference USA and deserving of a bid this year. But they were in the finals of the NCAA in '86 and '89 under Coach Dang. Everybody calls him Coach Dang. Pulvidich.
Well, right now, coaches on both benches here are not concerned about history. They're concerned about how can we find a way to get a goal. It's been a very evenly matched game, but it's got to be able to create. And if you get a chance, you've got to be able to finish.
And emotionally, as we approach this 5-minute mark, you get a goal in the last 5 minutes, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Inordinate amount of goals scored them. We talked about it. Maybe players mentally looking at the clock. Here's an opportunity.
Nice move, Jewell into the box. Ball is loose. A chance for UCF. And a good defensive play by the Memphis Tigers. Knocking it out of there, Hildebrand again. But back comes UCF. Alex Brandt ahead, and here's an opportunity. And Moore trying to attack, getting a shot, nothing doing. And UCF will reorganize right outside the box. Here's Becca Thomas with a shot just wide. Well, for UCF, that big win this year began, well, early in the year, very strong. The match in Orlando against the number 4 team in the country, Florida State. Both teams struggling to score in regulation, and it wasn't until the 105th minute that broke the game open as Courtney Whidden fought off a defender, and she was able to head it into the far post. There it is, the win, marking the second time this year that Central Florida beat a top 10 team, and the first time since '98 that UCF defeated FSU in Orlando. Terrific program building win for Amanda Cromwell. And now as we approach that 4-minute mark, 4 minutes remaining in the half, you almost sense it's one of them boxing matches. You know, each team has had a few slugs, a few punches, and speaking of punches, somebody injured there, huh?
Yeah, Holman's going to take it in the face. Nikki Moore trying to clear it. And that ball at top velocity, and I don't think that one was going 80 miles an hour, but you could strike a ball at 80 miles an hour. That one glancing off the face of Holman, so you just were making the analogy to a boxing match. Took a jab to the face.
Yeah. Avery Holman, a freshman out of Spokane, all freshman conference player this year, very athletic player for Brooks Monaghan. Now getting to that 4-minute remaining mark here in the first half of play. Counterattack by Memphis. Here's Becca Thomas.
And the last 5 minutes have been better by UCF. Hungrier for the ball in the midfield, getting players forward.
Here comes Josviak. A little bit of room. That one will result in a goal kick. Coming up at the half, CBS College Sports, Adam Zucker brings you up close with UCF goalie Eleni Reyes. Reyes, the night's star keeper, has as much fun whipping up the delicacies in the kitchen as she does shutting out opponents on the field. And we'll bring you highlights and stats from our game as well. All at half right here on CBS College Sports. Not a whole lot to choose from between UCF and Memphis. Nikki Moore solid back there all game long for UCF. She is the mistake eraser. If anybody gets free, Nikki Moore usually stops him. Look at how physical she is.
Well, she's doing a great job. Defending is all about angles, approach, body position, and then attack the ball. She's done all three well.
Amanda Cromwell calling her the best 1v1 defender in the league. Now, we do know that the defender of the year is Bacher on the other side. But no doubt Nikki Moore is outstanding. And here's a chance for Newsom. Centering opportunity. Knocked aside by Memphis. Katie Jackson exerting a little pressure for UCF. Here's Alex Brandt. And Josviak. Brandt, a little bit of space. Serves it into the box, but knocked away by Hildebrand. And this is dangerous. But there's Kuhar Pitters. 22 career wins for Kuhar Pitters on the Memphis side. Number 2 all time in Tiger history. Baldwin trying to keep it alive for Memphis. And here comes UCF, but that'll result in a throw-in for Memphis. A little bit of a foot race here. And Baca able to fend off the attack by UCF's Kim Newsom. Baca, an incredible defender, has a goal this year as well, supporting on that defensive side. A minute left here in the first half in this scoreless duel. This is going to be a throw-in for Memphis now, and it'll be Baca. A great setting here at Westcott Field. SMU here in Dallas. They've done a great job of hosting the tournament this week. 6 teams started, now 2 remaining. And here's an attack and an opportunity for UCF and Motorana, I should say, and she's unable to clean it up on the back end. It'll be a goal kick for Memphis. Martirana is out of Middleburg in Florida. And make no mistake about it, Amanda Cromwell does recruit Florida. There's a lot of great soccer players there, but she recruits all over the place.
Now, Motorana had a momentary opportunity.
Their 3rd straight Conference USA championship. And there you see the Tiger Terror. Highest goal total of the year, 6-2 in that opener against SMU on Wednesday. And you see Tigers goalie Elise Kuhar Pitters. Memphis is out there ready to go, and now UCF breaks huddle, and Amanda Cromwell's team will look to win their first league tournament title. Now, they've won 3 regular season titles, Shep, but they haven't won this one. And I think there's a little bit of a thing. We've got to beat these guys. Now, they're going to get into the NCAA tournament, but I think there's a thing right now about UCF wanting to beat Memphis. They've been knocked out of this tournament the last 2 years.
That's a good point, Bruce, and I think both coaches' comments were interesting. I didn't expect Amanda Cromwell to talk about nerves for her players, but you just mentioned it. They haven't been here. They want to win this championship, and she'd like to see her team settle down a little bit. As for Memphis, he was really talking about spreading the back 4 of UCF, getting in between their central defenders and outside backs, trying to exploit that space.
We're at Westcott Field here on the campus of SMU in Dallas, Texas. Conference USA Women's Soccer Championship. UCF and Memphis. Neither team able to get a goal yet. And that first goal here in the early part of the second half would be huge. And who knows, maybe we'll play a little extra time here today.
One of the best ways to get goals is off set pieces. There were relatively few in the first half.
UCF, perhaps the best in the league on the set pieces. Mark of a good program. Mark that your system is good, your players know the system, you can work on set pieces and really get good at that. Now for UCF, ahead on the right, Radovcic. And that'll be a goal kick for the Memphis Tigers. Radovcic out of Rockaway, New Jersey. Outstanding player and attacker on the right. And there you see Nikki Moore, who played very well in the first half.
Yeah, and that last pass, an intelligent pass by Nikki Moore, but a little bit too much pace on it. Radovcic couldn't run onto it, collect it.
Hance able to get it out. And a lot of this game has been played, to use a football term, between the 20s, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's all about what you do when you get a quality goal-scoring opportunity. Amanda Cromwell, I think, very good in terms of analysis of the first half. A little bit chaotic, a little bit of an ebb and flow in terms of rhythm.
Here's Tori Dalton. Serving to the right side to Barra, Conference USA Offensive Player of the Year, looking to find an opportunity. Nice move into the box, but knocked at her there by UCF.
And we highlighted Ashley Barra as one of our potential difference makers. She spent a lot of this game out wide right, when she gets into the attacking part of the field, that one she flights in, easily dealt with.
Lauren Hulbert made a nice play on that last defensive situation for UCF. She had the big goal in the semifinal win, and now here comes UCF on the counter. Knocked away and out of there by Hildebrand, or correction, by Hance. Hance, good solid defender.
Yeah, and I like the tactical formation as well. I happen to like a sweeper, some player in the back line playing deeper than the rest of her teammates, so she could read, she can compensate for a mistake, she can anticipate and cut off a dangerous through ball.
Turner up the sideline, throw in for UCF. Ashley Barra has not seen a whole lot of room, has she?
No, she really has not, and we illustrated it at the beginning of the game. She has speed, she has an explosive first step. She really has not been in a 1v1 situation to run with the ball at her feet at defenders and take them on.
Thrown again for UCF and Jazviak. This is George, and George with an opportunity serves it in. Very nice read by Kuhar Pitters.
That's a great little dummy step over by Yvonne George. Just a little bit of a feint to send the defender one way, and she looks up. She has time and space. Kuhar Pitters does a good job. Good, cool, calm, collected goalkeeping, clean hands.
Ignacio getting ahead to Eisenhower, and Eisenhower trying to make something happen, but very good defense by UCF. That was Hulbert. No score in this one, and a foul called on UCF. Haven't seen a whole lot of those.
No, and I think which team takes the onus upon themselves to shorten the field, play a little bit more pressure, play a higher back line. We talked about the potential fatigue factor for Memphis. I think it would benefit UCF to pick up the pace of this game.
UCF's solid defense. They get it out. 50-50 ball. Good job by Radovcic. Here's Strinadova for Memphis. Ignacio, and now Dalton for the Tigers. Eisenhower, nobody there. Reyes will get it out of there for this UCF team on a 10-match winning streak since that loss against this Memphis team. On a roll and number 9 in the nation. Looking to cap it off, regular season and tournament champions if they can get it done here today. But they're in a battle, trying to get a Tiger by the tail, but right now Memphis playing them even up at 0-0. There you see the 25-7 advantage for UCF since that loss. I guess the key is, you don't beat UCF. They get mad at you. They start winning.
Well, I see 100 different statistics about games. That's the one I want to see. How many goals did you score? How many have you allowed? That pretty well dictates how you're going to do.
Well, in both of these teams, about even. 41 goals for Memphis, 17 against. 40 goals for UCF, 16 against for the Knights. So it's relatively even. Memphis trying to exert a little bit of pressure, but there's Hubbard. We'll bring it the other way for UCF. Going to throw in now for the Tigers. In a clutch game like this, I mean, it's an absolutely crucial game, Shep. Do you get a situation where you get even tighter, where you're less aggressive because you're worried about giving something up in the back end?
Well, that's definitely a possibility. Also, a great possibility is big players come through. They know the nature of the game. They step up. They make a play.
And here's Barra trying to make a play, headed to the top of the net and out of there. It hit the crossbar and goes out. Simonin with a very good pressure, and then Barra, I should say.
Well, the best thing you could do is get a ball wide, spread the defense, and whip some service into the box. Good things happen. We talk about relatively few set pieces. Here's an opportunity for Memphis on the corner kick.
Into the box, and that one is in, a goal. But are they going to wave it off?
I think there's a foul against the goalkeeper. She was leveled. Referee's assistant had the flag in the air immediately. Look at Reyes come out for it. You know what? That should have been a good goal.
On the corner kick, Bacher was right there on the end line, trying to get her head on it. There was some contact there right at the end, right at the goal line. It does trickle in, but no goal. So Bacher really pressing up, obviously, from her defense position, and an opportunity, the best opportunity of the game. Simonin doing a good job of retreating and back-checking a little bit. This will be a throw-in for UCF.
It's a very hard call. If you're Memphis, I'm all about protecting goalkeepers. That's very close on the replay. Reyes trying to play the ball. There was some contact, but it's a 50-50 ball. The attacking player has every right to go for it as much as the goalkeeper. Hard to tell in all that traffic, a lot of bodies there.
Ruled a foul. And is that, as you look at that play, is that one of those that if they called it the other way, you couldn't complain a whole lot? Is that one of those really 50-50 calls?
Yeah, it really is. I'd have no problem with that being a good goal.
Now UCF in the attacking third, and they will throw it in again with Maynard. Had a good first half for the Knights. The throw into Whidden. It'll be a goal kick for UCF. And Memphis has done a nice job of not allowing a lot of these set pieces, but this is where the Knights shine.
Yeah, and sometimes a play like we just saw at the end of the field ends up being a signature event anyway. Memphis puts their head down, they're dejected, and then they give one away.
Here's Becca Thomas with the corner for UCF. Into the box. Headed out of there nicely. Memphis's defense knocking it away, and the UCF on the throw-in on the far side. Nice play by Memphis and Simonin. We have played 10 minutes here in the second half of play. Still no score. And here comes Becca Thomas. Advancing ball, dangerous play. And an outstanding effort, certainly for UCF and Courtney Whidden, but held off by Memphis's Kuhar Pitters. Hubbard controlling from the midfield area, but that's a nice play by Dalton, getting it ahead to Eisenhower. Eisenhower trying to move it to Dalton. Here's a 2-on-1 situation, and the ball is loose.
And the offside flag was up. But all of a sudden, a little bit of lack of organization. There's the ball. They had numbers going forward.
Simonin with the big opportunity, but she was offside.
And Tori Dalton had the ball, needed to release it a little earlier.
The two best opportunities in the last few moments owned by the Memphis Tigers. But UCF had a corner kick just a moment ago, always dangerous. Still no score. Simonin here on the near side getting double teamed. And now Hildebrand and Dalton. Ignacio to Dalton. Memphis trying to organize just outside the 18. And here's Ignacio again trying to attack for the Tigers. Eisenhower with her back to the goal. Trying to get it to the right to Barra, but too far. Goal kick for UCF. Let's take a look at that again. We get a better angle, I think, on this one.
Well, again, I'm all for protecting the goalkeeper. Watch Reyes come off her line. Oh, you know what? On that one, the arm was outstretched, did make contact. It was Kelsey Bacher who had the left arm out and did impede with Reyes, so I'll take that back. Not afraid to say I made a mistake. I think that was a good call by the ref. The left arm of Kelsey Bacher was outstretched, made contact with Reyes, knocked her off the ball.
Here's Maynard attacking for UCF, but knocked out of there by Turner. Yeah, and from the angle we saw from out front, hard to see that. But that last angle was a good one provided by our great folks here at CBS College Sports.
Yeah, and hard for the referee as well. Timothy Debbie-Singh did a good job because he's obstructed from the view. His referee's assistant had a much better angle. Immediately put the flag up, quick conference, and they disallowed the goal.
Strinadova and Ignacio now for Memphis and Berra. Memphis trying to possess and attack yet again. Simonin. Nice move. Here's the shot and a goal! Lizzie Simonin, the sophomore from Lee Summit, Missouri, scores on a left footer. And Memphis has a 1-0 lead.
Well, we talked about players taking it on, making a difference in the game. And look at what she does. Simonin cuts the ball out, puts it on her left peg, and that's beautiful goal scoring. You drive it high to the near post or low to the far post. That's the way to score goals. Made that one little step, got some time and space, and hit it hard and low to the far post.
One of the best players for Memphis, 1v1, and proved it on that play. Here's a cross for UCF. Dangerous situation, but knocked out of there by Strinadova. Controlled, though, by Brandt, and her shot just sails wide. Goal kick for Memphis.
Bruce, we talked about how moments in a game change the momentum. Look at the goal again. A little bit of a head fake to the inside. That's all it took. That little head fake froze Nikki Moore. That's why when she pushed it to the left, she had a little bit of space. Just a little feint with the head. That froze Nikki Moore. She created the space and finished with a beautiful goal.
And she did it, as you mentioned, against Nikki Moore, the best defender certainly that UCF possesses. And now the Knights will have to press it a little bit as we approach the 30 minutes remaining mark here in the second half of play. The Memphis Tigers have the 1-0 lead in search of their third straight Conference USA Tournament Championship. Whidden chasing that one down. And the Knights will organize with Jasviak. Long ball ahead. Hance allows it to go to the goalie. There you see that goal differential.
Well, again, we talk about statistics and graphics, and our guys do a great job of putting together a myriad of different numbers to help you analyze the game. And we can analyze it, but at the end of the day, you got to score goals, and that disparity in how many you've scored, how many you've allowed, that makes the difference. Right now, I love to watch 5 minutes right after a goal is scored. How does Memphis deal with prosperity? How does UCF, how do they react?
With about 30 minutes to go, you know, you don't panic, certainly. If you're UCF, you continue to play your game, but you probably press forward a little bit, huh?
I think you have to pick up your pressure on the ball. Here's an opportunity.
And that one handled by the keeper, Kuhar Pitters. Again, good pressure. And the defender, Jasviak.
This Memphis team has been a very good team in terms of passing the ball with accuracy in the middle of the field. So UCF, I think they have to stay compact. They've got to pressure the ball, force some turnovers, see if they can pounce on that.
Moore trying to get it ahead to Newsom. It'll be a throw-in for UCF. Regular season champions in Conference USA. Knocked out of there by Bacher. And here's the big throw coming up
Shadow in front.
for Kim Newsom.
In front, Shadow.
The junior
Away.
into the box and headed out of there nicely by Hildebrand.
Get up. Get up. Ashley, right shoulder. Kelsey left.
UCF's Katie Jackson. Head on the left to Jasviak. Jasviak has been very, very active. Serves it in. Hance knocked it away, and now it's a loose ball situation, and is that a penalty kick?
Wow. No, it's not. The referee is
Just outside, evidently.
Yeah, I didn't think there was a foul at all, but he saw a contact. Let's see where she was standing when the contact was made. There's the attempt at a clearance, edge of the penalty area.
Krista, get in.
And you know what? If you're going to call a foul, she was in the penalty area.
Yeah, Hildebrandt was called on the foul, but ruled just outside the stripe. UCF had a play similar to that on Friday night where they thought they might have had a PK, and they ended up scoring anyway off of a pass to Lauren Halbert. They can do the quick set. They like to do that as well here on these set pieces, but a chance for UCF to tie matters. Becca Thomas stopped by the Tigers, and there's Hildebrandt racing out of there.
Yeah, it's Hildebrandt, who was the last player on the wall, did a great job sticking the right foot out. That wall was well set up. It's all about how many players you put in the wall. They're 5. They're set up in a beautiful spot, and that was Hildebrandt with a good reaction. Stuck out the right foot, deflected it out.
And that one was labeled lower left corner, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, the goalkeeper, Kuhar Pitters, had very good position. Yeah. She has a wall on one side. She was at the other side, but you know what? You want your defender to make that play. If you're a Kuhar Pitters, you buy Hildebrandt a dinner tonight if the score ends up the same.
Exactly.
Let's go, Mark.
Here's another throw for UCF and Kim Newsom.
Keep our shape. No foul. No foul.
You might be able to hear the goalie say, keep our shape, which means positioning. And there's a nice centering pass, but just beyond. Good play, certainly, for Kim Newsom. And it'll be a throw-in for Memphis. Good pressure now by UCF. And again, you could almost hear the communication by Kuhar Pitters. Amanda Cromwell's team needing a goal here to even it out. With just under 27 minutes to go in this championship match.
Well, so far UCF has reacted well to conceding a goal. They've picked it up. They're hungry. They don't have their heads down. They've had some sustained pressure. Now can they get the equalizer?
Yeah, and it's been in system. It hasn't been in desperation, has it? It's been within the confines of what they do, right?
You've got to be aggressive without panic. No need to panic yet.
27.
Here's Becca Thomas. Contested, and a nice knockaway by Memphis squad. Is making that play was Avery Hallman. Hallman and Simonin sometimes switch off on starters, but they're both in the game right now. Look again at that penalty.
Well, let's see where it takes place. It's Kim Newsom. Now, she is pushed inside the penalty area. It doesn't matter where she lands. It's where the foul occurred.
And it doesn't matter where the ball is. The ball was outside.
It doesn't matter. So if you're going to call a foul, and who knows? That's not my call. I think that's incorrect. If you call a foul, that contact was in the penalty area. That should have been a penalty kick for UCF.
Do officials sometimes, if it's that close to the edge, just benefit of the doubt and move it outside so it's not, because a PK is such a high percentage goal?
I've seen it when you're running with the ball at your feet and you can't tell whether you're on the line, in the line, but this one, her body was clearly in the penalty area. I don't think you have the luxury to call a crooked line. If you're calling a foul, that's a PK, baby.
UCF will have to overcome that. Down by 1. Bacher trying to clear. Simonin, the goal scorer, getting it off to Hildebrandt, and now here comes Dalton. Starting to get a little physical. Becca Thomas. Josviak loses her feet, and now here comes Memphis on the counter.
Again, back to that play. I have no problem this juncture, a championship game, not calling anything. There was contact, but if you make the call a foul, Amanda Cromwell has every right, although her face doesn't show it. If you're calling that foul, you have to point to the PK spot.
A 1-0 advantage for Memphis, looking for their 16th win. UCF looking for their first ever tournament championship after winning the regular season outright with a 10-1 record. And on a foul, it'll be a free kick for UCF.
It's a good reaction by UCF. The problem is they've got to chase the game, so they'll get a little exposed at the back. We've talked about some of the speed for Memphis. We've seen it in the game. So if you're UCF, you've got to pressure, but you've got to be smart.
And here's an opportunity for the Knights. Newsom with the header, but knocked out of there nicely by Bacher. Still dangerous, though, as UCF will control with Brandt near the sideline. Brandt will serve it in. Bacher again is there. Couldn't really get a good foot on it, but cleaning it up is Kuhar Pitters for the Tigers, and they'll look to counter.
This is great distribution by the goalkeeper, Kuhar Pitters. She puts her team on the attack.
Here comes Hallman. Hallman 1v1 and knocked away. I think Hallman touched it last, and that'll be a goal kick. Looking at how these teams poke it in, and it's a 2-0 score in favor of Memphis. The freshman from Spokane, Washington, Avery Hallman.
Unbelievable. And once again, we talked about using their speed on the width of the field. That's a pretty acute angle. Reyes coming out. You've got 3 defenders trying to track back. That's a savable shot if you're the quality that Reyes is, but kudos to Memphis. What do you do when you're in a tight game and you've got a 1-goal lead? Make it a 2-goal lead.
Attacking the Memphis Tigers, making it 2-0. The goal, of course, is gravy, but that's a lot of times the best defense with 1-goal lead is to attack.
There's no question, and UCF had responded well. After giving up the first goal, they had the better of play. What an unbelievable run, individual effort by Avery Hallman.
It's only her 2nd goal of the year, but what a huge one for Memphis and Brooks Monaghan.
Well, again, the way to score on a play like that is exactly what she did. It's almost against the run of play. You slot the ball low to the far post.
Here's a corner for UCF, but knocked out of there, not completely cleared, and Brandt's shot is blocked, and now the Tigers will counter, and here's the goal scorer, Avery Hallman. Hallman in a 3-on-3 situation. Moore able to knock it out of there, Brandt, and now here's Simonin, and she will get it on goal, and a save by Reyes. Again, here's Avery Hallman's goal. Terrific job, and
it's a very clever goal because at that angle, running away from goal, you almost want to look up and try and play the ball square in the 6-yard box. But you could see from the look in her eyes that she was trying to tuck that in the far post. That's exactly what she did.
Well, and it's interesting here in the second half, Shep, that, Simonin and Hallman usually switch off. One will start and then the other will start. They both started this year, and they're both fairly young players, but they've both been on the pitch here in these last 5 or 6 minutes as Memphis has taken control.
Yeah, give that man credit because he knows his team. We talked to him coming out at the start of the second half. He mentioned the possibility of fatigue, but obviously they have overcome it.
Shot on goal, but a relatively easy save for Kuhar Pitters. And now for UCF, with 20 minutes to go, a little bit of desperation.
Yeah, now you're, I never like to use the word desperation,
right,
but it's time to be aggressive. Doesn't matter whether you lose by 4 goals or 2. Push your back line up high, try and compress the field, pressure the ball, force turnovers. Soccer is a game of momentum. If they could stick in a goal here, all of a sudden Memphis is concerned.
Well, Kim Newsom with a nice run and able to get the corner kick, and the ever-present Becca Thomas
into the game for UCF.
With the corner kick for UCF.
And number 20, Stacey Hubbard.
Hubbard checking in for UCF. And a heading attempt just wide as that one into the goal mouth, and Whidden with an opportunity just wide.
This is a superb opportunity. She puts 2 hands in the air, Becca Thomas, to signal where she's going to play the ball. There's the glancing header. Now Memphis defends on corner kicks by having 2 players at each post. So that ball, that shot, had it been on goal, perhaps would have been knocked away anyway.
Courtney Whidden with a great opportunity for UCF. 12 game-winning goals for her in her career, and she'd love to have the opportunity to do that again today, but right now her team trails 2-0 with 19 to go. Petrucco trying to find Nikki Moore. And here is Nikki Moore with an opportunity. Good job of shadowing and back checking by Hildebrand. He's had a very good tournament for Memphis.
I think Alex Brandt on the side of the field for UCF has looked good. Has a good left foot. That was a clever little pass. She's played some good balls, service into the box. And again, if you're UCF, just find a way to get a goal. Then anything can happen. Right now, Memphis, I think, has a well-deserved lead. Can they protect it?
And can they continue to play with this sort of energy for 18 more minutes? This is the third game in 5 days for the Tigers. Foul called on UCF. Free kick for the Tigers. Be Bacher. Kelsey Bacher. Thomas gets it out, but here's Ignacio. Strinadova. Strinadova with a shot on goal. It's good. Strinadova with a left foot from about 25 yards out and knocks it in. Vendela Strinadova, the junior, with an incredible shot.
You have to be kidding me. Take a look at this thing. This is a world-class goal. That's a goal at any level that's world-class. Strinadova looks up, takes it with a cultured left foot, dips it with velocity over the head of Reyes. No goalkeeper is going to make that save. That's a terrific goal.
And it's 3-0 Memphis in the Conference USA Women's Soccer Championship. Strinadova had the big goal in the win over UCF in the earlier meeting. This one, perhaps, just perhaps, a little bit of icing for the Tigers.
Oh, we talked about, Bruce, what happens in big games when it's tight, when it's 0-0. Players take it on, make a difference. Nothing Reyes could have done on that goal. That ball with velocity dipping over her head right under the crossbar, but individual players have made a difference in this game. The team collective nature kept Memphis in it, and then individual plays on the ball produced 3 great goals.
Simonin, Hallman, and then Strinadova for Memphis. And you're exactly right. The games are generally won, I should say, by good 1v1 matchups or good individual plays.
And we talk about what happens after a signature moment in the game, and that goal that was disallowed on the foul, whether or not it was a foul or not, I think that the game changed from that point on.
And it's funny because, you know, a lot of coaches or a lot of folks would say it could go one way or the other. Memphis could collapse after not getting that goal, and instead they went the other way. There you see the Conference USA first team, and there is Vendela Strinadova from Memphis. Now we know why she's on. Boy, what a play. She was born in Czechoslovakia, and she's played on the Czech national team, and 2 years ago had a huge goal against UCF in this championship game as Memphis won the game 1-0. She's a big goal player. I mean, she gets goals that really mean something for Brooks Monaghan and the Memphis Tigers.
Well, what you love about that goal is she knew exactly what she was doing. She looked up, she created a little time and space, put it on her left leg, and ripped it.
And now for UCF. Got to get one on net as soon as they can. And there's Brandt with a very hard shot that's knocked down by Kuhar Pitters. Doesn't get much better than this, does it?
Yeah, and it's all about technique. Look at that quick little release, but she gets so much velocity, perfect direction, because the technique is perfect.
And if you're Reyes, you're 5'3", nothing you could do. I mean, Reyes did everything she could do. She leaped as high as she could, and sometimes, you know, genetics doesn't allow you to make that save.
What I love about Reyes, and yes, she's allowed 3 goals, but her technique is as close to perfect as I've seen. She went for that ball with the proper technique. Opposite hand over, little shuttle step, leapt as high as she could. She did the same thing on that ball that she punched out on the set piece in the first half. So great technique, but you know what? Sometimes the goal is just going in.
Memphis with a 3-0 lead inside 15 minutes remaining here in this championship matchup, Conference USA Women's Soccer. UCF down 3-0 in this game and really hasn't seen this sort of a deficit since way early in the year when they took on #1 North Carolina and lost 4-0.
I said it when the game started, first 5-10 minutes, Bruce. I really thought that Memphis came out with a little better energy, a little bit sharper to the ball. UCF, this, I'm sure, has not been their best game. Never fully in a rhythm, never able to create those chances and get a goal, and then absolute disaster for UCF at the other end of the field.
The good part about those young ladies we were just watching for UCF, the good part is, you know, if they're unable to win this game, here's a team that's going to certainly go to the NCAA, so their day is not over. Well, CUSA Hoop Stars, Cannon and Hughes receiving preseason all-general.
Assuming they lose this game, they're going to the NCAAs. And Amanda Cromwell, look at what she did the last time they suffered a defeat. She ticked off 10 in a row, so she will build off of this. As heartbroken as the players and the coaching staff will be, she will build off this and hopefully help them in the NCAA.
Well, if you know she's able to recover the way she did with the 10 straight victories, all they need is 6 to win it all. So just get 6 in a row, Amanda.
And you almost could say, you know what, if we have to have a bad game and have a loss, this is not a bad place to do it, because they are going to the NCAAs. Amanda Cromwell has been a winner at every level, as a player, as a coach, with a national team, as a professional player herself, and certainly as the head coach at UCF. So it doesn't make this loss, if it is a loss, any easier, but she will use it to build.
Goal kick for the Memphis Tigers. Amanda saying before the game that, you know, with getting into the NCAAs, she knew her team is in, no question, but she wants to get this team to the Sweet 16. They've had the first round win and the second round knockout. UCF will have another opportunity this year to get to the Sweet 16. Some of the Memphis folks wanted a foul. Instead, it's Hallman with yet another run. Centering pass, trying to get it to Barra. Good defense by UCF, and will come the other way.
You can't help but be really impressed with Brooks, Monaghan, and this Memphis team. They, for me, I thought they were the better team in the first half. They surely established themselves, got the finishes. And this has been a tremendous performance from a team. Again, I'm staggered by it. 3 games in 5 days. That is awfully challenging to do.
And how often did you do that in your playing career, and how tired were you after that final 90 minutes?
Yeah, well, I was a goalkeeper, so I give up no goals the first game, 2 second game, and 8 the third game. So it is difficult because your legs, the cardiovascular recovery, it is tough to do. But Brooks Monaghan, his team, they have done an unbelievable job in this championship game.
Ignacio coming out, Baldwin coming in for Memphis. And you can tell they know that they're on their way, or they feel they're on their way to a championship, but 10 minutes yet to go in this one. Baldwin ahead on the left, and throw in for UCF. And you can see it etched on the faces of the Knights. Disappointment, because they really felt they were going to come up and win this game, and they were going to kind of exercise a ghost, so to speak. They've lost